What if I told you there are 12 words, words most of us can't even pronounce, that explain almost every weird emotion you've ever felt? Like why someone who barely texts you back can somehow control your entire life. You're not crazy. Your brain is just executing outdated code written thousands of years ago. Here are 12 psychological glitches that explain almost every weird thing you've ever felt. Number 1. Limerence. You met someone 3 days ago. You don't know their middle name or how they treat servers, but you've already picked out the exact color of the curtains for your future apartment together. Psychologists call this limerence. It's an involuntary state of obsessive infatuation. Your brain isn't actually falling in love with a person, it's falling in love with an idea, flooding your system with dopamine every time they give you breadcrumbs of attention. You aren't heartbroken because they stopped liking you. You're going through literal chemical withdrawal from a fantasy you wrote in your own head. Number 2. Spotlight effect. You spill 2 drops of water on your shirt at lunch. For the rest of the day, you walk around holding your backpack like armor, convinced every single person in the room is judging you. This is the spotlight effect. Because we experience 100% of our lives from behind our own eyes, our brain mistakenly calculates that everyone else is watching us with the exact same intensity. Here's the truth. Nobody saw the stain. Not because they don't care about you, but because they're too busy worrying about their own shirt. You are an extra in everyone else's movie. Number 3. Negativity bias. You give a presentation. 49 people tell you it was brilliant. One guy in the back row yawns and checks his watch. You go to sleep at 2 a.m. replaying that guy's face in 4K resolution. That is your negativity bias. Evolutionarily, ignoring a compliment cost our ancestors nothing, but ignoring a threat meant getting eaten by a predator. Your brain is hardwired to prioritize bad news over good news just to keep you alive. Your mind isn't broken for overthinking negative comments. It's just using an outdated survival protocol in a world that no longer requires it. Number 4. Bodder, Meinhof phenomenon. You decide you like a red sports car. Suddenly, every third car on the highway is that exact same red sports car. You start asking yourself, is the universe giving me a sign? It's called the Bodder, Meinhof phenomenon, or the frequency illusion. The car count didn't change, your brain's attention filter did. Once new information is flagged as important, your subconscious starts actively scanning the room for it. The universe isn't sending you signs, you're just finally paying attention to what was already right in front of you. Number 5. Alexithymia. Someone asks, what's wrong? You feel a physical knot in your chest, your heart is racing, and your stomach hurts. But when you open your mouth, the only thing that comes out is, I don't know, I just feel weird. That disconnect is alexithymia. It's the inability to translate physical, emotional sensations into words. Your body feels the stress or sadness, but the link to your brain's vocabulary center is broken. You aren't emotionless. You're literally speaking a language your mind hasn't learned to translate yet. Number 6. Hypervigilance. You hear someone close a door slightly too loudly in the other room, and your body instantly braces for an argument, even though you live with your best friend who is just making toast. Welcome to hypervigilance. When you spend extended periods in unpredictable environments, your nervous system locks into permanent threat detection mode. It interprets completely neutral sounds as immediate danger. You aren't dramatic or overly sensitive. Your nervous system is just extremely good at protecting you from a war that ended years ago. Number 7. Jamais vu. You look at the word door written on a piece of paper. You spell it out DOOR. Suddenly, it looks completely wrong. It looks like fake gibberish, and you forget if it's even a real word. This is jamais vu, the exact opposite of déjà vu. It happens when a familiar word or situation feels totally alien because your brain briefly loses the connection between recognition and meaning. Reality is held together by your brain's memory shortcuts. Break the loop for just 5 seconds, and the familiar world disappears. Number 8. Aphantasia. Someone tells you to close your eyes and visualize a red apple. You close your eyes and all you see is pure pitch black darkness, while your friend claims they can literally see a glossy 3D apple in their mind. You might have aphantasia. It's a neurological condition where the brain cannot construct visual imagery. People with aphantasia think in concepts, words, and facts rather than mental pictures. You aren't missing imagination. Your brain just processes creativity in raw code while everyone else uses a monitor. Number 9. Zygarnik effect. You have 10 finished tasks on your list and 1 unfinished email. You spend the entire weekend relaxed about the 10 completed things. Right? Wrong. That single unfinished email tortures your thoughts all night. That's the Zygarnik effect. Your brain retains uncompleted tasks in high alert working memory because it considers open loops an active threat to your stability. Once a task is marked done, the memory clears. Procrastination doesn't save energy. It burns twice as much mental fuel keeping the task alive in your background processes. Number 10. Miswanting. You convince yourself that if you just buy that phone upgrade, that pair of shoes, or get that job title, your life will finally be complete. You get it. And 48 hours later, you feel identical to how you felt before. Behavioral economists call this miswanting. Humans are terrible at predicting what will actually make them happy. We mistake the short-term thrill of anticipation for long-term satisfaction. You don't actually want the item. You want the temporary chemical hit your brain gives you for chasing it. Number 11. Hedonic adaptation. Remember when you were desperate to get accepted into your dream school or land your current apartment? Now you walk into that same room and complain about the water pressure. That is hedonic adaptation. Your baseline level of happiness always snaps back to neutral regardless of how good or bad things get. Massive upgrades become the new normal almost instantly. You aren't ungrateful. Your brain is designed to normalize success, so you stay hungry for the next move. Number 12. Sunk cost fallacy. You're watching a movie that is objectively terrible, you hate it. But you sit there for another hour saying, well, I already paid for the ticket and watched the first half. This is the sunk cost fallacy. Your brain hates losing resources so much that it will continue wasting more time and money just to avoid admitting the original loss. You aren't saving what you spent by staying. You're just paying twice. Which one of these hit a little too close to home? Drop the number down in the comments and hit subscribe to understand more brain glitches.